I can I can say your decision was a good one, and my parents,
Welcome,
I
welcome,
can
welcome.
I can
Here at
say
Bridgeport
your
High School,
decision was a
we
good
are,
one,
as I can reiterate
and
from the
my
principal was
parents,
saying, we are a
welcome,
family
welcome.
here.
I
Here
can
at
say
Bridgeport,
your
we are
decision
involved in
was a
we
good
are, this
one,
is a school
I
where
can
nobody
and
from the
my
principal was
parents,
saying, we are a
welcome,
family
welcome.
here.
I can
Here at
say
Bridgeport
your
High, we are
decision
hard
was
and
a
we
good
are a
one.
family here.
I
Here
can
nobody from the
my
principal was
parents,
saying, we are a
welcome,
family here.
welcome.
We
I
implore
can
you to join, make your um here we value our colleagues and ourselves. We invite the stranger and welcome the newcomers. We acknowledge the obligation that we have as a PTA and we deliver on our promises. The PTA, we have assigned the, the picket fences as one of our major projects at the school to maintain the beautification of the school. But not just that, the PTA have other obligations as well. So we're not just here to, to say that we are, but our presence is being known. Students, I encourage you to get involved in the clubs and the society. There's so many areas for you to, not just for you to come to school and just watch your time to go home. There's so many areas for you to get involved in. I implore you to get involved. Okay? Once again, I say welcome. And I met a few of you during registration. So a few might have known me, but you will know me as the years go by because I'll be here on the ground and on the phone. You know my face. It becomes very what do you say, popular. So welcome again, and thank you for making Bridgeport High School the school of choice. And have a blessed
Zoe,
day.
come here. Zoe?
Hello. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Miss Lawrence. Miss
Two
Lawrence
girls.
is our. I'm just going to ask our parents if you could just mute your phone so we don't get the distractions. All right, thanks so very much. Miss Lawrence is our PTA president, and thanks so very much for your contribution, Mrs. Lawrence.
Yes,
Parents, yes, parents, what I want to let you know as PEP parents, grade 7 parents, once we start or once we normally would have started school, um, our first general meeting would have been third Thursday in September, and we would have selected, nominated and selected a grade 7 parent rep or two parent rep at this meeting. But I'm going to ask. Why are you eating it alive? I'm just asking parents, could you mute, please? Thanks. Otherwise, Miss Palmer, could you just mute everyone, please?
It's gonna include you, so you unmute yourself, okay, miss?
Okay. All right. As a reminder, colleague parent, just to let you know, once you come in on the meeting, could you just mute if it is that you need to indicate, raise your hand, and Mrs. Palmer is our vice principal and the host for this meeting. Will indicate such, or you can put the information in the chat. You can put the information in the chat and we will respond to your query. I must tell everyone present, and if you know of others, that in addition to the Zoom meeting presently, we are also going to be having persons joining with us online via YouTube. Sorry, Bridgeport High School Television is the name of the YouTube channel. All right. So now I'm going to invite Mr. Peter Carter, who is sitting in for Mr. Jason Stewart, our past student president, to now bring greetings. Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter? All right, we will move. We will. All right, parents, we will move in if when Mr. Carter gets back in the meeting and Dr. Levy, we will take their greetings at that point. So to tell you for this meeting and for how we begin school, colleague parents, for the meeting today, we're hoping that we will not go over an hour and a half maximum, because what we have laid out, we have several presenters, including all our vice principals, our dean of discipline, or guidance council will be making presentations on different aspects. And there's a aspect on the agenda for any other business and question and answers. I'm going to ask you at that point to raise a question. While the presentations are going on, and if it is that you need to make a query or to ask a question, could you feed that information in the chat and we will respond. All right, so the matter of schooling and COVID-19. Parents, just to tell you that we have well laid out prior. When we met first, we had our calendar of activities well laid out to start school 7th of September. Unfortunately, school will not begin the 7th of September for many reasons. For one, for the announcement from the Minister of Education, school will begin October 5. Another reason is that the wide increase in the COVID-19 cases that we're getting now, and we don't know what it is for the near future in terms of increasing COVID cases. Also, for election to be happening this Thursday, and after election, we for sanitization of the entire school compound, because this school will be used for on election day. So with all of that, school will be open on the 5th of October. In addition, though, we will be preparing our PEP students as well as our returning students to start classes on the 5th of October, all being well, which means prior to that, we will be having online orientation, and we will inform you about the dates. We have a date for our next meeting for PEP students, and this is further down in the agenda. We'll let you know more about that. So regarding the school reopening, so with the increase in COVID-19 cases, and we must start school at with the 6-foot social distancing. Parents, what I want to let you know that on a normal basis at Bridgeport High School, we are on a shift system. 1. 2, our classes are usually 40 students, 42 students average per class, and 8 classes per grade. With the social distancing measures, what is it that we will have now? What is it that cannot be accommodated now? It's 15 students per class at 6-foot social distancing. We are already on shift, so we are not able to shift any further. In addition, we have extended our classes per grade to 2. So we have 10 classes per grade instead of 8 classes per grade. So students will be placed in either 8B, 8R1, 8I, 8D, GE, P, O, R2, or T, 7T. What this means is that students are randomly placed in class, not depending on any grades or anything. So students are just randomly placed. So all students will be taught a common curriculum. So all of this, in terms of a common curriculum, you will have that on our next meeting when we meet with you. I want to let you know that we will be utilizing for distant teaching coming our school management system, which is the SMS platform. We will be relying much on the Google Classroom and on using Zoom classes as well. The Ministry of Education has laid out for us Google Classrooms, and we will be linking with the ministry as soon as everything is finalized. And with the ministry, we will be linking. So all schools will be linked with the Ministry of Education, so they know exactly what it is that we are doing online and everything. We have been having trainings with our teachers with the use of the platforms to better able to serve our parents and our students on the through distant learning. For the redshift coming up, our redshift students, which is grade 7, 8, and 6 grade 9 classes, these classes will begin on the afternoon shift. We have no control in terms of what happens. The afternoon shift will be here for one semester starting September until the end of January, and February until the end of the school year. The students will be on the morning shift. So we start off on the afternoon shift. What we have contemplated as is now, and that all will be normal or as normal as can be with COVID-19, is that we will have face-to-face as well as on off-site distant learning. Grade 7 will be in for 3 days, and we're looking at Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. Wednesday and Fridays, the students will have off-site teaching, and it will be structured in terms of the timetable. So when next we meet, you will be getting the timetable for the grade 7 to know the face-to-face classes as well as the off-site class, and we will walk you through how the classes will be dealt with. Grade 8 will also be 3 days. Grade 9 and grade 10 will be 4 days, and grade 11, 12, and 13 will be 5 days, because there's much to do. So grade 7 parents, it is Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 3 days of teaching, face-to-face, and Wednesday and Friday will be off-site teaching, starting October 5, all being that there are no other changes to date then. So 3 days of teaching and 2 days of off-site teaching. So with that said, parents, just want to let you know that we will keep you informed, and I'm hoping that all parents are on the WhatsApp group. All parents also have a email address, and we are in touch with you. If you are in the meeting or are you joining with us on YouTube, I'm going to ask you, please place your name in the chat so we can know the persons present and the name of your child as well. If it is that we do not have an email address for you, please place it in the chat as well, or you can inbox us in terms of our Bridgeport High School number. We'll put it on the agenda shortly for the cell number that we have for the school. You can inbox us the information, and we will have you in the WhatsApp group. We're going to be taking the presentation. We're going to be taking the presentations at this time, and they will follow one after the other as per how we have them now. So first we will have Miss Beckford, who is our acting vice principal for the blue shift grades 10 to 13, and she will be going through in terms of sanitization and cleaning protocol for operating school during the pandemic. All right, so please welcome Miss Beckford. She is the acting vice principal for grades 10 to 13, and she will be doing the first presentation. While Ms. Beckford comes, just to let you know, parents, if there are any questions you'd like to ask, please put them in the chat and we will respond to them at the end of the presentations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I want to first of all welcome parents to the Bridgeport High School family. If they're students, I want to endorse Mrs. Harris's welcome to you. We look forward to having you share with us for the next 5 or 7 years at Bridgeport High School. We have quite a number of items on the agenda, so I'm going to get right into it. We know that there has been an increase in the number of COVID cases, and as such, we're asking parents to, from now, help your children or children to start thinking. Be careful, sanitize, be physically distant. As such, we're going to ask that for students, once they are coming on the compound, parents, once you're coming on the compound, you must have your mask. You must have your mask, and not only have the mask, but the masks must be worn properly. And encourage the students from now, your children, if they're taking the mask off, encourage them to take it off properly, put it on properly, and to store it properly. We are going to have a little issue if persons are wanting to come on the compound without the mask, because not only are you safeguarding yourself, but we are going to have to ensure that we safeguard everyone on the compound. Uh, Even during classes, we're going to be insisting that students keep their masks on. Now, we know that there are some persons who may have an issue in terms of keeping the masks on. We are safeguard we are creating areas, safe areas outside, where students can go outside and maintaining physical distancing, just remove the masks for a little, just to get some breathing, it's a little breather. But we're encouraging everyone, we're asking you, please just encourage students from now, get them into the frame of mind that once we return, and that will be, we're not sure what is happening now, but whenever we return, that we maintain the mask. Now, there are some students who may need to have more than one mask. It's going to be difficult for them to be in the one mask for the entire day. So we're going to ask for parents to send. Parents, may I ask you to mute, please? Just check to make sure that your mics are muted. Thank you so very much. We're going to encourage you to get your students, your children, your wards to take an extra mask with them to school. All right. So that's it in terms of mask. And remember, the mask not only protects them, but it protects everyone on the compound. The other factor that we want to discuss really quickly is our plans as it relates to physical distancing. Now, Mrs. Harris has already stated that we're a shift school, which means that we have a large number of students, staff on the compound at any one point. The classrooms have already been marked so that the children are seated at a safe enough distance from each other. Now, in the classroom, we can control the students. Once they're coming in, we have put measures in place because we have markings all over the compound. Some of you would have already been on the compound where you see we actually have markings, we have lines, arrows pointing in the direction that you should go. So coming in, we can exercise some amount of control in terms of maintaining distance. Once they're leaving, we are also putting things in place to ensure that physical distancing is practiced. We are doing a dismissal at different times. So different grades are going to be are going to be dismissed at different times, just to ensure that everyone is not at the bus stop at the same time. So they will leave in an orderly manner. Now, I'm not sure if persons would have been associated any at all with a school that runs a shift system, but there is a period. The shift over period is potentially dangerous. So we want to encourage you to just encourage your children from now to follow directives. So we don't want everyone being at the bus stop at the same time. So we ask that once we dismiss, parents, please make arrangements for pickup to be done immediately. We dismiss on the morning shift at 12:15. Sorry, at 12, and the afternoon shift is at 5:15. They're going to ask that as soon as students are dismissed, those of you who are making arrangements to pick them up, that pickup be done. And those children who have to take the bus to go home, or taxis, that you encourage them, please make haste. As soon as you're dismissed, go home. Now, there are children, and we know that there are children, and they're going to want to be meeting each other and sharing space, close space. We're going to encourage you to ask them, even from now, to maintain their distance, even on their way to the lunchroom. Even while going to lunch, we have things in place at Bridgeport High School. We have different areas from which they can purchase lunch or they can purchase snacks. and those areas have already been marked out. So we are trying as much as possible to do all that we can, but a lot of it, parents, guardians will be dependent on the children working with us. All right. So as it relates to physical distancing, we want you to bear that in mind, and we're just sharing with you some of the measures that we have already put in place. One other thing that we have done is we have created hand wash station, little stations for you to do hand washing right across the compound. So on entering, there's a hand washing station there, and we have stations like these spread right across the school compound. We know that sanitizers can be a little expensive. Washing of the hands proves to be just as effective. So we're encouraging you just to get the students at regular interval, your students at regular interval, to engage in hand washing. Also, it really would be good, parents, if you got for them small bottles of hand sanitizers that they can use on their way to school or as they're leaving school in the bathroom. Just regular proper sanitation methods will help in terms of safeguarding each, well, as we try to safeguard each other. One of the other things that we will do is we have regular cleaning and sanitizing of the classrooms. So in between classes, if they have to move from the room, we have our support staff who will be there to sanitize the classrooms, and in between the shifts, we're also going to ensure that the students who are coming in are coming into a clean, sanitized environment. One other factor that we would like for you to bear in mind, on entering, there is a protocol. Once you're entering the compound, your temperature is going to be checked. Now, if it is that your temperature is a little elevated, then we have measures in place to ensure that we do further checks or further investigation to see what is happening. And it would apply to not only students, but also parents who are coming on the compound. And on that note, because of what is happening with this COVID, and because we are having to take extra precautions, we are going to ask that if, as parents, guardians, you need to come in to speak with a teacher, speak with the principal, that you make an appointment. In the past, we would allow persons to come once there's an issue, but because of what is happening and the fact that we have to control the movement of persons on and off the compound, we're asking, please make an appointment, call into the office, make an appointment, and ensure that you try and come at that time, because we will have to make provisions for you to be on the compound at that time. So if you're having to come on, please also bear in mind that the protocols will have to apply to you also. So temperature will be checked and you will be sanitized. Uh, for now, I think that's it. What we're going to do is we're going to put a number of these directives and the protocols on paper, and we're going to ensure that you have it so you can make reference to it at intervals. I want to thank you so very much. And again, we look forward to having you for the next 7 years at Bridgeport High School. Thank you very much. Mrs. Harris, back to you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Beckford. Parents, we will now move on to our second presentation, and I just want to remind you, parents, if there are queries, if there are questions you'd like to ask, could you put it in the chat and we will respond to the questions, all the questions, at the end of the presentation. So we will move in now to our matters concerning health and immunization. Our school nurse, Mrs. Johnson Henry, will now make the presentation. Ms. Johnson Henry. Mrs. Powell Coley, could you just do your presentation, please, until Nurse Johnson comes in. Mrs. Coley. Colleagues, we will have Mrs. Powell Coley, our Dean of Discipline, who will speak to us on safety and security. Mrs. Palmer, please unmute Mrs. Powell Coley. Thanks, our nurse.
Powell is unmuted. Coley?
Okay, good afternoon, parents. I am also going to be extending my welcome to you here at the Bridgeport High School. We look forward to a wonderful time here. My name is Mrs. Coley. I'm the Dean of Discipline, as Mrs. Hart would have said. And I'm just going to go through with you the safety and security protocols here at Bridgeport High School. We understand that school safety and security is of critical importance in keeping our schools safe, allowing our children to look forward to being in an encouraging, safe environment that promotes social and creative learning, and that's what we're about here at Bridgeport High School. And we achieve this. The Bridgeport High School has in place an active safety and security team and a critical incident management team which responds to emergency situations, natural disasters, and presently we're at the forefront of the coronavirus protocols. So we have to ensure that everything is in place so that our students can be safe. The safety and security team at the Bridgeport High School, we provide a secure learning environment through the following mechanism. We have on campus an assigned school resource officer. This person works along with us. They're from the JSTF, and they work along with us to ensure that our students are safe. They help us in maintaining the discipline on the campus, and they help us to mentor our young students. We have security staff on campus, so at the entrance at the gate. Security is there so we don't have strangers just coming in and off campus. So we ensure that the students, the staff, and everybody involved, parents, when you come on the compound, you are safe. And we ask that once you come to the compound, you just adhere with the security protocols. So you give your name, you have to get your visitor's pass. We have mandatory emergency preparation training for our staff members. So in the event of an emergency, whether it's an earthquake, hurricane, whatever it is that we have to respond to, we ensure that we try to have our staff trained in first aid and all of these procedures so that they're able to effectively respond. We have an active critical incident management team, which is a team now that is on the grounds, trying to ensure that the coronavirus protocols are enforced and that the students and the parents follow the protocols. We do regular emergency drills, so we ensure that we have fire drills. We had one prior to school, to the whole COVID happenings. We recently had a fire drill. So we try to do that so that our students are aware of what to do in the case of a fire, in the case of an earthquake, how they're to leave the compound safely. We also partner with outside agencies. So we partner with the Jamaica Constabulary Force. We partner with our local council. We partner with the fire department. We partner with the health clinic, the ODPM, all these agencies that can help to strengthen our safety and security processes and procedure. We partner with them so that they're able to help us. We have a student and family support system, and this goes through the guidance department. So you will hear from our guidance counselor a little later on how this works. So we try to provide as much emotional, psychological support as possible to our students and parents if needed. We have procedures and practices for supporting positive behavior, because we know that the safety and the security of our school also has a lot to do with the discipline of our students and how they respond to each other, how they respond to staff, how they respond to their teachers. And so as such, through our behavior modification unit, we try to have early intervention when we detect behavioral issues with students, and we try to modify that behavior through positive discipline mechanism. And we ensure that we have data-driven accountability for school safety and to promote a positive school culture. So we try to track our students that are having particular issues, so that we're able to put in place the proper mechanisms to assist them. The critical incident management team, which operates under the overall umbrella of the school, the safety and security team, we're responsible for and will alert the school community and the parents if there's any credible or imminent threat to the school or any impending disaster. So we encourage your parents. We know sometimes when things are happening, parents will get anxious, and we tend to be listening to different news or different information. The school will provide the necessary information if there's any threat, if there's anything happening at school that you would need to know about. The critical incident management team will be the one to feed the information. So we encourage you just to not panic, but to get information from the school. Now, parents, to promote a safe and secure environment is not only the responsibility of the school. So we're asking the parents, these are some responsibilities that we're going to ask you parents to take on. We're going to ask you to ensure that your child or your ward follow the rules and guidelines. Each student is given a rule book as how to operate. And so we ask your parents to go through the book with the student, with your child or your ward, and you yourself become very au fait with school rules. We ask you to encourage your child to become involved in clubs and curricular activities, and primarily the Red Cross, the Cadets, and we have 4-H. These are good clubs that help to instill, positive behavior. And so we want you to encourage your child to participate. We ask your parents as much as possible to participate in PTA meetings and school functions, so that you yourself can become familiar with what is happening on the campus. We ask you to be a parent to all Bridgeport students and encourage them to conduct themselves respectfully on and off campus. So parents, we ask you to encourage when you're on the road and you see a Bridgeport High School student, we ask you to encourage them to conduct themselves in a proper manner. Encourage your child or ward not to loiter on the road, but to come home immediately after school. And you know that this have a whole range of safety implications. We want to ensure that they are not abducted. We want to ensure that they get home safely. So many things can happen on the road now. And also with coronavirus, we don't want them out there exposed for long periods of time. We are also asking you to encourage your child or ward to be respectful of their teachers, their staff members, their peers, and of themselves. And we ask your parents to be an example to your child or ward. And you do this by encouraging them to follow the rules, and you yourself try to emulate these values and to support them in bringing out these values. So this is in a nutshell, because we're time constrained, what we have here at Bridgeport High School as it relates to safety and security. We ensure that we try to follow what is happening, so that we can give you the information as we get it in the case of a natural disaster or whatever is happening. Mrs. Harris, over to you.
Okay, we can have nurse now.
Okay, thank you so very much, Mrs. Coley. So parents, you are going to take the presentation from Nurse Johnson Henry, our school nurse, at this point. All right, welcome, Miss Nurse Johnson.
Thank you, Mrs. Harris. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Nurse Henry, the nurse at the Bridgeport High School. I want to welcome each and every one to the Bridgeport family. It is very important. The health of our children are very important, and so we seek to ensure that the children are healthy while they are at school with us. And so, as I look at immunization, it is the government's requirement that the child entering high school should be fully immunized. For those who have already registered, we would have gone through the immunization card. And for those who have probably one or two vaccines to get, I would have pointed out that to you. So we encourage you to get these children fully immunized as they enter the school system, because the immunization will also help them to combat any communicable diseases. So for those who have vaccines outstanding, we encourage you to get them fully immunized before they actually come on the school compound. In terms of medication, the nurses at schools are not permitted to give the children medication in terms of tablets and all of that. So we encourage parents, for girls who have dysmenorrhea, which is painful period, we encourage you to give the children a little packet with their whatever painkiller that they would use, and whenever the time arrives, they can always come to the sick bay and I will administer such medication to them. For those that are asthmatic, and we have always had problems with the asthmatic, I'm asking you parents to please ensure that the children walk with their pumps, because the attack can attack them anytime. So we are asking you, please ensure that the children put the pump in their bags, just in case they have an attack at school, they can administer until we can get further medical assistance for them. For those with migraine, again, I ask that you will give the child whatever necessary medication that they take to alleviate the headache, put it in their bags, and when they come to the sick bay, I will administer and render also other therapeutic measures to help to assist them. Also, in the registration package, you would have noticed a form giving the school permission to treat your child in case the child should become ill at school. I have seen cases where parents didn't want to sign, but let it be known that if the form is not completed and something should happen to your child, you did not give the school permission, we cannot move with that child. But if you should sign the form and something should happen at school where your child require more medical assistance than what the school can give, and we have to take them to the doctor, it is imperative that that form is signed so that we can get consent to assist the child. Also, regarding the COVID-19, we have already spoken about the frequent hand washing, and this is one of the methods we are using to combat the spread of the disease. There are wash stand situated around the school, and we ask that the children make use of them. Wash their hands frequently. Do not share any drinks with their friend, no form of utensils with their friends. The wearing of mask is a must, and it must be worn properly, not under the chin, not behind the ear. The mouth and the nose must be covered. For the asthmatics who might have challenges regarding breathing, because some of these masks are not breathable, the parents can give them the more breathable one, which is the medical ones. Those are the ones more preferred for the asthmatics and also those who have sickle cell, because we want adequate perfusion to those children. We have set up an isolation room where if the child presents with a fever or any of the associated symptoms relating to COVID, that child will be moved to the isolation room where further testing will be done on that child. And if we suspect, based on history, taking a history from the child, if it is suspected that that child probably would have in contact with someone who has coronavirus, you know that we have to isolate the child, and then the parents will be informed, the principal will be informed, the health department will be informed, and the parents will ask to come for the child, or if it's a case where the child becomes critically ill, we will have to move with that child immediately to the hospital. And again, as the government would say, if the child is sick, parents, we are asking you, do not let the child tell you, oh, mommy, I feel better. If the child is sick and in your estimation, the child cannot come to school, do not send them out to school. Let them stay home until they are fully ready for school, because we don't want a situation where the child becomes sick at school. So if they are not well, we ask that you keep them at home, inform the school until they are fully cleared where they can come back to school. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nurse Johnson. Parents, I hope you would have heard. And I just want to reiterate what Nurse had indicated to us, that where the child is ill, please do not send them out, because you see what happened to industries, to companies. One person is infected and the entire school population workplace has to be shut down for deep cleaning and a couple of days out before we can start again. And if we are to have cases, the actual cases of COVID-19 happening on the compound, that is what um, would will happen at the point where everybody would have to be sent home. All persons will be screened, and it will be would have taken several days before we can be reinstated again for normal classes. So we're asking that we bear in mind the measures that must be taken, how to properly take care of ourselves and protect individually. This is the time that we are going to be selfish in terms of protecting ourselves, wearing our mask and ensure that it is worn well, and ensure if the child is sick, the child does not come out on that particular day or days that the doctor would have indicated. So thank you so very much, nurse. And we're going to move right into our presentation with our guidance counselor, Mrs. Fraser Brown. She's making presentation on behalf of our head of department, Mrs. Forbes, and she's going to be dealing with psychosocial issues.
All
Mrs.
right,
Fraser.
good afternoon, parents. Good afternoon, colleagues. Miss, can I share? I was trying to share. It says that only the host can share. Is it possible for you to allow me to share?
Yes, go ahead, Miss.
Still can't share. It says only the host can share.
Go ahead, miss. Go
Mrs.
ahead.
Palmer.
Yeah. Go ahead, miss.
All right.
Raise up.
Yes, Miss, I'm hearing you.
Try.
All right, thank you. Let me try.
Yeah, okay now?
Yes, I think I'm getting on. All right, in the meantime, let me take time out to welcome our parents to the Bridgeport family. We are a family here, and because we look out for each other and we support each other the best way that we can. As guidance counselors here at Bridgeport High School, but let me first let you know we have three guidance counselors here at Bridgeport High School: Mrs. Holmes Forbes, who is the head of the department, Miss Meir, and myself, Mrs. Fraser Brown, as you would have heard. Um, as I was saying, you would have been familiar with guidance counselors in the primary school. So our roles are pretty much the same as in the primary school. We are concerned with the psychosocial health of our students, their mental health, their emotional health, their social development, their social health, because we know that students can't really learn well or effectively or efficiently if they are not mentally and emotionally well. And so we are here to ensure that that develops properly and offer the support that each and every child needs, or our children need, right? Because they are our children as well when they're at school. I'm having issues right now trying to share, so I'm just going to go ahead with what I have. I have a picture here that shows a myriad of emotions that a lot of persons may be experiencing in this time: anxiety, depression, stress, fear, frustration, nervousness, the whole works. And we all know that that is largely due to the current pandemic. You know, each day we hear that the cases are going up higher and higher, and we really wonder what is next. You know, do I have it? Is my child going to get it? You know, are they safe coming out? All of those things are on our minds,
Miss
and things
Fraser,
are, yes, please.
Mrs. Could you just send it via email and let me share it from my point if you can?
Send it via your email address, because I would have sent it earlier if you could find it.
Right then, I'll check.
Yes, Miss. Yes, all of those thoughts in our minds, right? And so everything is just so uncertain right now. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, what is going to happen next week or next year or whenever. And can you imagine if you are feeling that way, how our children are feeling? Because oftentimes we tend to think that they they don't really pay attention to what is going on and they're not feeling certain things. They're occupied with, they are preoccupied with their own concerns as young people. But they too, if you really take time out to listen to them, they too are worried, they too feel anxious, they too feel depressed. You name it, they too are feeling it because they are people as well. Right? And so we thought it's important as a guidance department to put things in place to help to create some amount of normalcy, some amount of stability for our children. But we recognize though that we can't do it of ourselves. We need your support as parents to be able to do that, right? We want to create a safe space for our students. And that can only happen if we collaborate, if we work together to achieve same. So on that note, we have come up with what we call a 5 point plan. We're in election time and you hear persons having 10 point plan and 15 point plan. Well, we have a 5 point plan. We wanted to keep it very simple, very easy, because we want our parents, you as our parents, to join in with us, to work with us. So while we are working at school with your children or with our children, we want you to be doing pretty much the same thing at home. That's what we're trying to achieve. We want to create that safe space. We want to create stability for them, right? So whatever they see going on at school, that's what they should be experiencing at home. And so while everything else around them is uncertain and unstable, they're seeing at school, what they're seeing at home is stable. It presents some level of normalcy for them. And so the 5 point plan really has 5 R's. The first R is to remind, right? We have to remind them of the do's and the don'ts concerning the COVID-19 protocols and the COVID-19 guidelines. And you would have heard them earlier from the previous presenters. You'd have heard it on your TV. You have seen it on your TV, heard it on your radio, seen it on social media. Remind them of what they're supposed to be doing and what they're not supposed to be doing in terms of protecting themselves, right? So before they come to school, while they're on their way to school, remind them of what they need to do. Sanitize. When you're on the bus, if you have to take the bus, social distance, no gathering, wearing the mask, things like that. Remind them too that when they're on the compound, they're supposed to follow the guidelines on the school compound. When they're going home after school, remind them too what they need to be doing as it relates to COVID-19 protocols on their way home. All right, so remind them. We have to remind ourselves too. That means we have to remind them twice as much because we ourselves sometimes forget. All right, the next R in the 5 point plan is to reinforce. You're hearing me? Okay, yes, thank you, Miss. Reinforce, right? We have to reinforce what is that we want them to do. We want to reinforce the behaviors that we are reminding them of. We have to reinforce it. So a part of reinforcing requires that you practice what you preach. So we will be practicing at school what we preach as teachers, and we're asking you as parents to practice what you preach. Right? So you don't tell them to do this and do that, and then you are doing something different because they won't take it seriously. They will do what you do and not necessarily what you say. So practice what you preach. Encouragement, encourage and discourage. So encourage the behaviors that you want them to be engaging in, and discourage the behavior that you don't want them to engage in. So encourage, discourage. Don't ignore it, encourage. And it will get tiring, yes, because I know we're going to be getting tired of saying it over and over too, but we know we're going to have to say it over and over and over to reinforce in their mind. And the last thing is under reinforce is to emphasize personal responsibility. I believe personally that one of the reasons why we're having such a spike in the cases is because persons are not taking personal responsibility. All right? You have control over whether or not the virus is spread. We have control, all of us. So if we do what we're supposed to be doing, play our part and everybody else plays their part, then we can control the spread of the virus. And that's what we want to let these children know that they have control. It's not out of their control completely. They can do something to protect themselves. So we want to emphasize personal responsibility. So we are going to emphasize personal responsibility and you are going to do it at home as well. Next slide, miss, please. Reassure. This is a major part of what we will be doing at school. This is where the psychosocial support, if you've been hearing about from the ministry and wherever, this is where it comes in. Offering, no, we're not asking you to be counselors because you're not trained in that area. But you can do something to reassure the children while we do our part as counselors to offer the counseling support that we are trained to do. You can do something as well. So how can you reassure though? You have to first know what is going on. So you have to ask questions. You have to observe their behaviors and their responses to certain things. You have to talk with them, discuss with them. What you're feeling, how you're thinking, things like that. Look at the behaviors, things like that to see how they are responding to the idea of coming to school. You know, what are their thoughts about it? What are their feelings? And after you've gotten this information, we encourage you to use positive, comforting, and encouraging words, right? So don't be negative and you see the news and you see the spike, you say, Lord Jesus, now it's not come to school tomorrow, you know, or still not come to go to school in school, you know, whatever. Sorry. Try to use positive words, comforting words. Yes, things look bad, but if you do what we're supposed to do, we will be fine. We can overcome this. Use words to encourage them. You yourself also have to demonstrate a positive attitude, right? You can't be telling them one thing, as I said before, and then you are responding negatively. You know, they see the worry on your face, they see the fear, and they see all of that. You know, you have to try to adopt a positive attitude as well. So that what you say to them is believable and they can respond in the way that you are responding because they are going to be looking to you to determine how they should respond. And you will find that your child is really not coping well and you can't do anything much about it, then you can refer for counseling support. And that is where we come in as counselors. Further down, you will see our contact numbers where you can reach us. Next slide. We'll have two more points. Refocus. The truth is, learning has to go on. Life has to go on. We hear all of that. We don't know when the virus is going to go away, if it's ever going to go away. Learning has to go on. The students were abruptly removed from school in March. Their minds may be somewhere else on the pandemic or wherever. We have to get them now to refocus. At school, that's what we'll be doing to them with them as well as counselors, getting them to refocus on the idea of learning because learning has to go on. They will have face to face or they may have online, whichever one it is. We have to prepare them for that. As it relates to online learning, they are used to being online for fun and games. Now it's time to use the online platform for learning. And so you have to monitor that activity because it's easy to go and play a game versus open up something to read concerning school. So you have to pay attention to that, monitor their activities. What we will do as it relates to the online, in addition to teaching, if so be the case, we will also be teaching them about digital citizenship because now they'll be on the online space more. We want to ensure that they're able to use that space safely and appropriately. And so we will be focusing on that in our sessions as well. And the last one, relaxation. Very, very important. Amidst everything, we must find time to relax. Now, we're not designed to be under stress consistently. Eventually, our bodies are going to succumb, right? And so we have to find time to breathe, to relax. So we're going to be teaching them relaxation techniques, deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, things like those. And we want you to also find time to family time to get some downtime to get some fun time for them. All right, so that is a 5-point plan. And we really believe that if you work with us, if you play your part and we play our part, then we'll be successful. Our method of support now, largely what we just discussed a while ago, will be done in the classroom, the guidance sessions. So your children will be scheduled to have guidance sessions, and in those sessions, we will facilitate those activities that we are talking about. We know that there are some students who probably need some special attention. They may be not coping so well. So we will facilitate small group sessions, whether it is face to face if they're at school or online over the phone if or whatever device if they are not at school. And individualized sessions for persons who really, really need that one-on-one session. We will also be facilitating that, whether face to face or online if needs be. Next slide, please. So those are our contact numbers. We have WhatsApp, and you can call us directly. Those are the three numbers that you'll be getting us. You'll be able to get us on as counselors for whatever information relating to your child or support that your child may need. Next slide. Some general reminders for parents who have children on the PATH program, on PATH. We are reminding you to get your child's name transferred from the primary school to the current institution, which is Bridgeport High School, and this should be done at the PATH office. I guess maybe we're going to have to call them because they can't really go anywhere these days. And another reminder, you can get support from the National Parenting Support Commission. The St. Catherine branch has a contact number for them if you need support as parents. And last but not least, before I hand over to our principal, I just want to leave a scripture, a Bible verse with you. And it says, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." Just a reminder that we are not alone. The Lord is with us, and with his help, we shall overcome. God bless you. Back to our principal.
All right, thanks
Thank
so
you.
very much, Mrs. Fraser Brown. Thank you very much. Colleagues, I know we had missed the presentation. I'm just scrolling through quickly, just for your benefit. And we had picked up at the 5-point plan. So thank you so very much, Miss. And I just want to emphasize where Miss had spoken about digital citizenship. A new terminology that we need to know. And it's really how to be able to act, how to utilize the device to which many of us can't seem to part with at any minute of the day. So we need to have developed that citizenship and behaviorship, how we utilize and how we deal with, because our digital footprints follow us throughout our lives. So we need to use it responsibly. And for using it now, we want to use it for educational purposes and to ensure that our students use it wisely. So we're going to move to our next presentation at this point. Allow me to start sharing. All right, so now we will have Mr. Nelson. He's the vice principal for the Redshift, and he's the vice principal for grades 7-year students. So he will be speaking to you now regarding the bring your own device policy and the different blended approach to learning that we will utilize come October 5. Mr. Nelson.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Bridgeport High School. Let me say that we are glad to have you as parents, as students, and we want you to have a productive and good year, even given the circumstances that we are now faced with. I will speak to you about three things: the safety of your children, the bring your own device, and the monitoring of your children. Before we get into that, I would like to just run through some questions that were posted in the chat and give you some responses. For the persons who were wondering about the sanitization after the shift, yes, the sanitization is done after each shift. So after each shift is completed, there is a sanitization process which takes place for each classroom. So the ancillary workers will go around and do the sanitization after each shift. Online classes is set to begin in October. So for those who are concerned as to when online classes is set to begin, for now we are set to begin in October, all things being well. So all things being well, on October 5, when we do begin school, we will have online teaching taking place that time. Um, the grade sevens are starting out on the afternoon shift. For those persons who asked about what shift the grade sevens will be on, the grade sevens will be on the afternoon shift, and the afternoon shift begins at 11:45. We would advise you as much as possible to let them come in a little bit earlier, because we will have a bulk of sanitizing to do before they get into the school compound itself. So if they could get there by 11:30, that would help with the filtering, with sanitizing and so on. And we'll try to keep them social distance as they prepare for their shift. Orientation will take place in the online format. We will get back to you as to the exact dates and how the orientation will take place. So orientation will be in an online format, and we'll get back to you at a later date to say exactly when and how it will take place. There will be no sporting activities this term. So this term we will have no sporting activity. ISA has said that this ISA, which is the Intersecondary Schools Association, which is in charge of sporting activities in high schools, has said that there will be no sporting activities for this term. So this term we will have no sporting activities. All extracurricular activities will take place via the online format. So all club meetings and so on will take place online. There will be no face-to-face extracurricular activities. So I hope those answers would have satisfied those persons who would have asked. All right, the bring your own device policy. Um, Basically put, it means that we will ask students to bring their laptops and tablets to school. So we are going to have a policy where we will allow students to bring their laptop and their tablets to school, and they will use them in the teaching and learning process. So they'll use them in the class. Those devices will be registered. You will be sent a contract. All parents will have to sign a contract before the child can take the device to school. Unless the contract is signed, that child is not allowed to use that device on the school compound. So we will make a record of the type of device and other pertinent information regarding the device, and then we will engage the child with the device on the school compound. Therefore, we are asking as a school, as an institution, for those parents and guardians who would have not been gotten a laptop or a tablet for their child to please try and do so. It will assist the child greatly, because we are going to have a mixed modality where it concerns the teaching and learning, where there will be some days when they'll be face to face, and there will be some days when they will be at home online with their teachers. So even though they'll be at home, it doesn't mean it's a free for all. They will actually have their classes that they must attend, and they will be recorded as per attendance. If they don't attend, they will be marked absent, and there are consequences for flagrant absences. So for those who are at home, they'll be engaged via the online platforms. The three platforms we're thinking of using as a school are Zoom, Google Classroom, and our LMS, Learning Management System. At Bridgeport, we call it SMS, School Management System. So we are going to use those three platforms to send out information, to have classes, to interact with the students on a daily basis. So every 5 days of the week, they will either have school face-to-face or they'll have classes online. So one or the other on a particular day. You will be so informed as to which day they'll be in school and which day they'll be at home online in their classes. So we're asking, therefore, for those of us who have not yet done so, please, as much as you are humanly possible, to try to get them a laptop or a tablet. I would say a laptop or a tablet because it is better for learning and storage and so on. Parents have their phones, and if it is overloaded with information, the phones will crash. And you have your phones for your business and other purposes. So we really are encouraging you to get tablets and laptops. For those who already have, there'll be some particular programs that can be added to your laptops and tablets to assist in the teaching and learning. The Ministry of Education will be also sending out materials that that will be added to the devices to assist them in their teaching and learning process. So the tablets and laptops will be registered. You'll be asked to sign a contract to say that you give permission for them to take it to school, and that when they take it to school, they are responsible for their devices. The school will not be held liable for any theft or damage of any device. The child will have to take responsibility for those devices. Hence, don't leave your devices unattended. If you are turning your back, have your bag on your back and have the laptop or tablet in your bag. At this point, I'm going to say to you, if you want your child to be even extra safe, attach a lock to the bag that they alone have the key to. We cannot, as an institution, take responsibility for the devices, and we will not take responsibility for the devices. We believe that these students are old enough now to start taking some sort of responsibility for their own actions. So we encourage the students, therefore, to be very vigilant and very careful, which means that they don't lend their devices as well to anybody. So there'll be no lending of devices to anyone. You use your device. When you're finished, you put it away. You properly care and maintain the device. So ensure that it is not overcharged. Ensure that the device is not extra dirty. Ensure that the device is kept in a case or pouch. So please, as much as possible, a case or pouch. Most knapsack bags these days come with a laptop section. You can put the laptop or the tablet in that section to the back of the bag. Most bags come with it now with a little adhesive that you can lock down the device in. So we're asking that proper care be taken with each device. So you'll be asked to sign the contract. The contract will be prepared and be ready for the first day of school on October 5. So on October 5, if not before, we might send it to you electronically. But if not, if sent to you electronically, it definitely will be in a printed format on October 5 when they resumes for classes, and they will be given the contract, and parents will be asked and students will be asked. So both parties will be asked, not just parents. Parents and students will be asked to sign the contracts to say that they agree with the terms and conditions. If they don't agree, then we will not allow those students to take the device to school. Where it concerns safety, we're asking students, please, as much as is humanly possible, keep on your mask, especially when you're on the public transportation on your way to school. That being said, we're asking that parents, as much as you can arrange transportation for the children, please do. And we're asking as well that when school dismisses at 5:15, that they get home immediately. We'll be having persons from the safety and security team who will be on the outside ushering them into taxis and buses. But we are asking you from home to say to them, get to your bus, get to your taxi, get home quickly. For those who are picked up, 5:15. At 5:30, we do not want any student on the school compound. So at 5:30, the school compound should be empty of students. So we are giving them a 15 minutes window to get off the school compound, because we cannot, in good conscience, after that point, ask our staff to, especially if there's a curfew situation, to be here to monitor these students. So we're asking as much as possible by 5:30 that they exit the compound and that they also are off the street by 5:30 if it is possible. We ask that when they come into the school, there's a wash and station right at the school gate, that they'll have to wash their hands and sanitize before they come in. That is why we ask that they come in a little earlier so that there won't be a backlog and people joining lines to have their hands washed and so on before they get in. So if they could get in by 11:30, it would help us a great deal. Once they are on the school compound, they are asked to wear their mask. So at all times, especially engaged in classes and when they are speaking to their colleagues, they are asked to wear their mask. They should limit touching of each other. As I know this is a problem with, especially with our grade 7s. They are very physical with each other. They touch each other a lot. And we're asking that for this, especially for this period that we're going through this pandemic, we're asking that they limit the touching of each other. There will be no sharing of food or water. Under no circumstances are we allowing them to share food or water. That being said, we're asking parents to invest in a water bottle for your students that they will fill and they will take with them in the days. So they will have them please invest in a water bottle that will be filled and they will take with them throughout for them to use throughout the day when it's a bit hot and humid. We sell water by the canteen, but we would prefer to have them as much as possible in class, learning rather than having to go outside to get a bottle of water if they don't have to. We are also requesting, because our population is rather large, between 8 and 900 students on the shift. So that's between 8 and 900 students on the shift. We are going to try to stagger the lunch period to ensure that they don't all come out at the same time. We're not sure how successful we'll be with that. So we're asking that parents, you give them a sandwich or you give them some cooked food or something that they will take with them as much as you can. We know that it's difficult because you go out to work before they leave in the days. But this is when they are going to have to learn to be responsible. They're going to have to learn to pack their own lunches. They're going to have to learn that, listen, this is for my own well-being. So I need to do this for myself. The monitoring at home. We're asking that parents, especially on the days when they are going to be engaged in online learning, parents, we're asking you to please, we're asking you to please ensure that they do the work that is sent. If it means that you are going to have to call them while they're at home and video call them and look at what they are doing, do so. The technology is now there. You can video call them and see whether or not they're in the class and they're participating and so on. Find out what work was given. Parents, it is your responsibility. Find out what work was given. So find out what work was given, and if you can offer assistance, they're in the technology age. I often say to my friends when I am stuck with a particular thing, when in doubt, Google it. You're in the age of Google, where everything is basically at your fingertip. You just need to ask Google and it tells you what the thing is. So YouTube, they can go on YouTube and learn almost anything they need to learn. There are different apps. Khan Academy, they can go to Khan Academy and they'll learn different things, different ways of doing things. So we have to make use of the technologies that are at our fingertips and encourage them to do what they need to do, because ultimately it is a partnership between us and you. It is a partnership between the school and our parents and the students. And if this partnership breaks down in any way, it will affect the overall effectiveness of our system. To facilitate the Google Classroom, all students, all grade 7 and other grades, all students of Bridgeport High School will be given a Gmail address. So all students will get a Gmail address, and that Gmail address will allow them to access and participate in the different Google Classrooms that will be set up. The Ministry of Education has offered us the opportunity to have Google Classrooms in schools, so we're going to take it and we're going to use it as the main platform. Some teachers will want to have a Zoom class where they want to show certain things pictorially or an image. So those classes will be set up, and the parents will be so advised as to when those classes will take place. So the platforms we're using again, Zoom, Google Classroom, and the SMS or LMS, Learning Management System or the School Management System. Parents, we look forward to having a very good year. It is a challenge. It is a challenge. We as administrators, teachers, we're all wondering how we're going to do this, but through divine intervention from God, we will do it. Through guidance from Almighty God, we will do it. And this is the time we're going to encourage you. Pray with your children. Pray with them. Sit with them. Study with them. And at the end of the day, we'll come out of this and we will be successful as a school. And I thank you very much for joining this meeting, for having your time being spent in this way. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Cyrus.
I want to thank Mr. Nelson. Thanks so very much, sir. Um, Parents, I heard Mr. Nelson speak to the fact that our grade 7 students, particularly when they come in, they love to play. And when they play, they love to play and touch each other while playing. That's something we're going to really, really discourage. And so we can reach to each other by a smile, by elbow bumping or that sort of a thing. But in terms of closeness, everybody will have to keep social distancing to ensure that we are all safe while we're on compound, on the streets going home, and while even at home. All right, so thanks again, Mr. Nelson. We are going to move straight into Mrs. Palmer. She's the senior vice principal, and she works across both shifts. She will be going through with the curriculum models that we're looking at, as well as the school improvement plans. We have a new school improvement plan, 5-year plan from 2020 to 2025, and there are some things that we're looking at that she will just let you know in short what are they. Mrs. Palmer.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Harris. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our new parents and our older parents that have been supporting us through the years. And of course, congratulations to our PEP awardees. Welcome to the Bridgeport High School. You're in for a wonderful time as we begin our journey for the next 5 or 7 years. It's your choice, and I'm sure we'll have a wonderful time together. Now, I want to share with you what we have as our approved curriculum model for the year 2020-2021. We are in this new normal. We are all learning together as administrators, as parents, as children, and we all have to support each other because, let's face it, our children are more tech savvy than us as parents. So we will have to rely on them to help us. And I know we have some parents too who are tech savvy. And of course, they'll be helping us as we go along. So as you heard before, we'll be using the blended approach to learning, where we'll have some face-to-face days and some days we'll be teaching online. To be effective, we will use the following learning platforms, as you heard before. The school management system. I would hope by now all parents would have received a little pamphlet or some information that will tell you how to log on to the system and how to use the system. If you are not yet provided with that info, I'm sure it will be provided for you in short order. We'll also be using the Zoom platform. That's what we are using now for the meeting. And as you heard, the Google Classroom. Now, for us to get a good mix, we will have to use all three. And sometimes it would be important that we use the WhatsApp groups as well. Now, we want to have everybody in the net. We want to reach all our children so we can teach all of them. So we are going to use all the means possible, but these three will be the three main ones that we are going to concentrate on. Now, the school will provide you with the following. 1, a curriculum guide for grades 7 to 13. So you will receive that via email or WhatsApp group or by what means in short order. 2, we'll provide the link for the CXC syllabus for the students in grades 10 to 13. So their individual teachers will share the link with them, and you can, with the child, log on to the CXC website, and it is free from the CXC store. We will also provide the topics for the school-based assessments and the internal assessments, whether it's for grade 10, 11, 12, or 13. And the teacher will also work with the children online to ensure that these are done in a timely manner. So we will provide for you all the necessary information that you need as parents to keep up with us and to keep in touch with us. So as Mrs. Harris said earlier, and you would have shared, but just in case you were late and you did not hear, we need to have your email address and telephone number so that we can keep in touch with you. Now, the children, in order to be engaged, they will need a working device. Now, this device, we are encouraging you to get either an iPod, the tablet, a laptop, or at home, you may have a desktop that will work as well. So a working device, stable internet access. We know it is challenging when you have to buy the data plan. Sometimes in the middle of whatever you are doing, you know, the funds run out and so on. So we would encourage, if you can have Wi-Fi access, then that would be better off. The syllabus or the syllabi, as I said before, can be downloaded free from the CXC store. Now, textbooks, we have a few textbooks at school, and some of the students who are already registered would have collected their textbooks. However, the Ministry of Education will provide some educational apps for up to 85% of the rental books online. As soon as they make that available to us, we will share it with you. So we are looking forward to that link from the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education also will be, or they should be, providing tablets for grades 7 to 9 students and laptop for grades 10 to 13 students who are on the PATH program. We have not yet received the word. We have not yet received them, but rest assured, as soon as we get a hold of them, you will be the first to be contacted and to collect. However, this tablet or laptop that the child will receive on the program will be operated similar to the book rental scheme. So the tablet or the laptop will be basically rented to the student for the complete year. At the end of the school year, it must be returned, and when school resumes in September again, then it should be returned to the child. And that's what we got from the Ministry of Education in order to keep it revolving. Now, parents, we want to encourage you to become familiar with the learning platforms. So we want to encourage you to log on as soon as you get the information how to log on. And we want you to explore what is there with your children, or you can allow your children to show you how to navigate the space. It is new, it is exciting, it is stimulating, it is everything good or bad in some form. But what we know as educators, we have been training, we are prepared for our children, and we are ready to make this new form of learning exciting for them and exciting for you as parents. We want to encourage you also, parents, to monitor the use of the online space that your child is in. We will provide some guidelines for them We have the term netiquette, as I was reminded of this evening. And what it is simply saying is how we behave on the internet. Remember now, this is a digital space and it is very hard to erase your digital footprints. So whatever you put on the internet, we want it to be clean so that years to come, you won't be ashamed of what you posted. Please, parents, help us to monitor the children on the online space. So when we share with you the protocol as to the use of the online space, we want you to go through it with your children and remind them on a daily basis. We also ask you to check on a daily basis or a weekly basis or randomly. Just check on what is being done online to ensure that the work is properly done. We will try to monitor as best as possible to ensure that all the work is done. So before we begin our classes, you will get the guide, the curriculum guide for grade 7 through to 13. Okay, so that's for our little curriculum information. As it relates to our school improvement plan, now the big thing on our page is the new norm, the new online space, this space now that we have to explore and ensure that all our children are taken care of and nobody is left behind. Now, as you know, we were already on shift and we were trying to get off the shift. This pandemic now, it pushed us right back. So in our planning, we are still pushing forward to come off the shift and so we can have one shift. So we are looking into getting additional classrooms. We're working with the Ministry of Education and we'll see how best we can get forward in as quick a time as possible. Secondly, another short to medium term goals, these are what I'm sharing with you. We want to upgrade all our labs. Now our science lab, business education labs, or human ecology labs, and also the industrial technology labs. All our lab facilities, we want to upgrade them so that all our students can benefit properly from what we have to offer. We are continuing with our leadership development and accountability programs. So we are in training. We want to strengthen our Parent-Teachers Association and our past students, alumni. So we want parents to still work with us. We had a good year last year and the years before. Looking towards this year now, we are looking towards having a good time with our past students and our Parent-Teachers Association. So this batch of grade 7 parents, we want to welcome you on board to our Parent-Teachers Association. You'll get the date for the next meeting and so on. And we want to continue working together. We had a homework program. With this pandemic now, we'll have to revitalize our homework program. We want to maintain our website. If we can maintain our website, then of course you will learn much, much more about us and what we have to offer. So we are continuing with the maintenance. We want to continue also to develop the STEAM program that is looking at taking into consideration mathematics, technology, engineering, the arts and science. We want to continue working with that program of development. We want to incorporate boys' education in the school's curriculum. We know boys learn differently from girls. And this time of year now, when we are in the technology thing and more technology will be used, I know boys love technology. And I'm sure this time it's going to be even more exciting for them. Girls, it will be exciting for us too. So we want to incorporate boys' education in our curriculum. We want to continue to improve the physical structure, infrastructure, and the environment of the school. Of most importance too is to upgrade our network system that we have. so that this, using our online platforms, we won't have any challenges or as little challenge as possible. Okay, we want to increase the overall pass rate of our students by 3% each year. So this year is no different. So we are looking at inching our passes a little bit higher by 3%. And also we want to continue to promote healthy lifestyle among our staff and students. And last but not least, in our short-term goal, we want to see how best we can operate in an energy efficient space at school. For a medium to long term, now we need to upgrade our library so that we are internet ready and we are technology ready. So we want to upgrade our library some more and to continue to provide excellent customer service to our students, teachers, parents, and just about all our stakeholders. We want to increase the use of technology in our classrooms, and we want to look at storing data electronically and to continue with our vibrant counseling program. Parents and students, this is just a few of the things that we're looking at in our school improvement plan. And as we plan with you and your children in mind, we hope that you will get on board, stay on board as we navigate this new norm and the new space that we have to work in. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks very much for sharing with us this afternoon. And of course, you will have a wonderful time being a part of this Bridgeport family. Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Harris. I have to be talking some more.
Thank you so very much, Mrs. Palmer, for your presentation. You additionally need to, okay. Parents, thanks so very much. You would have heard in terms of our school improvement plan that is now being developed. We have a brand new school improvement plan for 2020 to 2025. One of the foremost things that we have is to come off the shift system. We have no control in terms of building the classroom. It is the ministry that is doing that. And you would have heard in the news of late, either it is one government, the current government, or the opposition leader, whoever comes in as government, that's one of the priority, is to get the schools off the shift system, because it robs our students in terms of socializing, in terms of the time that we have on campus itself, and the dangers that it poses with it, particularly for the afternoon shift when it gets a little bit dark. So we're hoping that that will come true for us. There are preliminary work, the plan has been done, and we cannot say though definitively that it is next year that it's going to happen, but it will happen soon. Also in terms of our academic performance is great at this time, but we want it to be excellent. Right now we are moving where all our grade 11 students does English language, and the results is 75%, and we're looking to inch at least 3% to 5% increase in the percentage passes as we move along. It's 75% English pass rate that we now have, 95 to 100% in all CAPE subjects. And we're looking to better all our subjects at the CSEC level in terms of pass rate in our new 5-year plan. At this point, Mrs. Boga Archer, who is the Assistant Sixth Form Coordinator, will speak to us on the expanded grade 12 program that is to come on.
Give me a little time. I didn't.
Mrs. Boga Archer?
Give me a little bit of time, Miss, to find her. I got distracted.
All right. In the meantime, while Mrs.
Okay.
You find her? So Mrs.
Yes.
Boga Archer will come on now?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Mrs. Boga.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Harris. Thank you, Mrs. Palmer. Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, parents and guardians. Now, in addition to our traditional sixth form program, which most of you are aware of, an expanded or extended grade 12 program will be introduced in the upcoming school year. The program will focus on the technical pathway of learning, and one of the aims of this program is to ensure all students leaving grade 11 are engaged in continuous education. To qualify, students must pass 3 or 4 CSEC subjects with grades 1, 2, or 3. The courses offered are Nail Technology, Customer Engagement, which is the core of the BPO sector in Jamaica, and Barbering. Now, students must complete one of these courses and a supporting technical course in employability skills in order to matriculate from the program. Now, students in the extended grade 12 program will also be granted the opportunity by the school to sit 1 or 2 CSEC subjects. Those sitting mathematics will have the option to sit City and Guilds or the CXC Maths. City and Guilds will be subsidized by the government, however, students will have to pay to sit their external exams in CXC. Now, after completing the extended grade 12, students will have the option to transition to the traditional sixth form program, given they have now met the requirements of a minimum of 5 CSEC subjects with passes of grades 1 or 2, with English being compulsory. Now, at Bridgeport, we aim to ensure that all our students benefit as much as they can from education, and this program is there to capture those who may not have done as well as they wanted at the grade 11 level. And we are confident that with the support of all stakeholders, parents, students, teachers, the program will be a success, as it can only contribute to the positive development of our students. Thank you. Over to you, Mrs. Harris.
All right, thanks so very much, Mrs. Bogarto. Parents, we're going to move in. I promise you that the meeting would have been, I promise you that the meeting would have been 4 hours and a half. I think we are very close to the time, so I won't take you long. So I will go through any other business, and if there are any questions and answers, we're going to move to the chat to answer those questions. I know Mr. Nelson had answered some questions, and we will wrap up at this time. A couple of things. For PEP registration, I know some persons have registered, or most persons would have registered. There are some persons who are still to register. So if you know of any parent who are still to register, the office opens, in terms of opening to the public, opens from 9 to 3 p.m. daily. So persons can still come in to register. There are persons possibly with outstanding documentation in regards to immunization, and our nurse would have alluded to it that even no more than ever, we need to have our children immunized. So students can be strong and they can be ready for socialization in the school system, which is an open system. The PEP registration will continue for those persons who still to date have not registered or have not completed some aspect of registration. For this coming week, office will be open today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. The office will be closed on Thursday, election day, because this school will be used for election centers. On Friday, we will also be closed because we will be facilitating a meeting of our administrative, ancillary, and our security staff members. So we will be closed for this Friday and this Thursday as well. We will open office starting next week again, and office will be open to the public from 9 o'clock to 3. Other matter in terms of uniforms availability, I will just say I know we have uniforms for grade 7. The uniforms for uniform shirts, and it's for the boys. Grade sizes 12, 14, 16, medium, extra large, and double X large are available. For grade 7, for tunic, size 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, and 18. And XL, there's no size 14. We're to get those at a later date. We don't have any size 14 at this time. Parents, we are limited in terms of the number of uniforms that are being sold to parents now. So we do 2 sets. As soon as we get from our suppliers, we will have those in stock and can be sold to you. So for grade 7, it's tunic 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, extra large. So we have no size or all sizes except for size 14. All right, so that's for uniform availability, and you can come in and purchase those from the office. Amended calendar of events. When we last met, we had nice thing work out in terms of starting the 7th of September. Lo and behold, afterwards, it's the nomination, elections, and they are now pushed back to October 5. But all in all, for the benefit and for the well-being and health of our children and for nation's children and for society, we will have to stick to what we have in terms of when we do open school. I must say to you that as a school, we will utilize for September to be training our staff to manage even better how to utilize the Google platform, the learning management system on the SMS that we have, as well as the Zoom. Most persons know to use the Zoom from our card. And also, we are going to be engaging, and I know that you will understand quite well, we are going to be engaging our students who are sitting CXCs and City and Guilds. We are going to be engaging grade 11, grade 13 students at this time, starting September 14, but we will only be doing so online. Ms. Palmer would have spoken to PATH students and the special considerations that are given or that will be given, because I know those tablets and laptops are not yet given to schools, but those are special considerations for PATH students, and the other considerations that would have been added in terms of a reduced amount that for enhancement fee that PATH student pays as well. External examinations, I just want to tell you, although it's early days, but it is best to be in the know. Parents, we have had over the years where some persons find it very, very difficult to come up with the sum of monies to pay for examination, particularly if the student is doing well and doing up to 9 subjects, to pay for the examinations at grade 11. So please start saving now. Put away a little bit every single month, or I know it is even difficult and challenging now, but put away something for your child to be sitting external exams. Because at the end of grade 11, what is it that we have to show that the child would have gone through secondary education? We want to know that our child sit and pass their external examination. So I'm letting you know now, payments are usually done by October each year for the examination. So once the child enters grade 11, it's really time to pay for examinations. Whilst the government subsidizes some subjects or up to 4 subjects, the students who are doing beyond 4 subjects, and most of our students do minimum 5 subjects, 6, 7, 8, 9 subjects. These will have to be paid for. I want to also tell you that students also have the opportunity to sit examinations at grades 9 and 10 through the accelerated program, and this is usually done before or after their shift. And what we have done is to develop in students this measure that students know that they are not curtailed to just those subjects that they are that they will do in the grades 10 and 11 program, but they can get themselves so marketable that they can do just about anything or go into any profession that they so wish. And for this, we have the accelerated students. For students to be on the accelerated program, they must maintain, and I say must maintain 70% average, and maintaining because our students coming to us with an average percent of 70% or more. And we want for students to ensure that they maintain that, and when they maintain, there's benefit for them all. So they start at grade 9 with, where they can do up to 3 subjects, 2 or 3 subjects at grade 10, and they will still carry their full suite of subjects to grade 11. So some students will leave at grade 11 with 11 to 13 subjects or more, depends on how much they want and if they keep their grades up. So I want to implore colleague parents from grade 7. So they come here with average of 70% that they maintain and they keep that average throughout, because there are much in benefit for them to do well. We will take question and answers at this time. And I'm going to stop share and see if I can go to the chat. Ms. Palmer, could you upload the chat for me?
I didn't get that, miss.
There's information on the chat if there are questions. I'm just trying to.
I see one question a person is asking, can I get more shirt to buy for my son in grade 7?
Okay. Oh, but I think I'd answered in terms of the availability of uniforms. That for now, just to ensure that we have every student at least getting uniform for the start, that 2 shirts are sold to each child starting now. But as we progress and most persons are registered, then we will sell additional shirts.
Mrs. Harris, one other person wanted to know if we got the taller size 12 uniforms.
That's a tunic. Well, based on the report I have from the bursar, we did not get the taller ones. No, but I will read again in terms of that which we got. Size 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, and extra large. So we haven't gotten the taller set, no. But I could get that information to find out if we have, when we will get them, if we don't, and post them into the WhatsApp group. Any other question?
I think the parent might have received the answer. The question is, my child have to be on pod to receive a laptop or tablet?
Yes, for phase 1, and it is by what the government would have indicated to us. So for phase 1, it's just the path students that they are doing it, and then they will deal with those persons who are having challenges in terms of financial challenges and so on. But no, in the initial stage, it is for the path students. Other questions?
My computer froze.
Yes, miss. Yes, miss. There are a few questions as it relates to rental books. So there are some parents who are indicating that they did not receive any rental books on registration. Also, when will the rental books, when can they be collected? And there's another parent who is asking if we would advise that the books be bought now, or should he or she wait until school opens to purchase the books?
All right, for rental book, thanks, Miss Beckford. For rentals, we will be issuing for rentals when the students return for school on first day or second day, that is October 5. Bearing in mind, as best as we can, we do not want students to be coming out if they don't have to. And in terms of the return rate of our students bringing in the books, we had challenges with some of our students returning the books because of this whole COVID thing and so on. So we are waiting and hoping that we will get all books in throughout September from the past grade 7 students, so we can reissue those. So the new grade 7 starting when they come in October. In terms of the book list, there are some things that are general, and it's not textbooks that we ask to purchase. These are accessories, your Bible, your geometry set, folder leaves, graph paper, and so on. So you can take your time and purchase those. There are some subjects that would have indicated there's a note to parents on the book list that says purchase books for items 1 to 5, and the others do not purchase them until you reach the class. What this means, there are some subjects that are done in second semester only for that particular class. Those students will not use those books until that semester. So only purchase them when you are advised by the class teacher that you need to purchase that book. And the note is on the book list. So don't go ahead rushing to buy those books as yet, because the subject may just be offered only in the second semester. All right?
Mrs. Harris, parent is asking what color mask must be worn to school.
Okay, all PEP students would have got from in their package a colored mask, red one or blue, branded Bridgeport High School. And if parents would like additional masks, we are getting additional masks in, so persons can purchase those at $500. I know that parents you may make or so, but we're advising if it is that you're making or getting additional for your child to stick to black, navy blue, or red. So black, navy blue, or red, because it's going to be seen our students with all different multicolors and so on. We're trying to avoid as best as possible. So for the mask, the branded school mask that we have, each child at present would have gotten either red or a blue in their package. If you need additional, it is $500. But if you're making, we're going to ask that you do a navy blue, black, or red.
Okay. One other question, Mrs. Harris. There was a question earlier from a parent who said his or her child is asthmatic and wanted to know if the child, special provisions can be made for the child in the event that the child needs to go to a safe area to remove the mask at intervals, probably more than the normal.
If I can recall, I think either Ms. Beckford, you or Mrs. Coley had indicated, because we have demasking zones, and yes, demarking zones on the outside where persons can remove their mask at intervals. All you do is to ask. I know our teachers, and it is something that we will remind our teachers to do. At this time, we will allow our students to move out, move in this open space, still keep social distance, and keep their remove their mask so they can get to breathe. I'll just demonstrate to persons. You have on your mask, and while at class, and these are breathable masks. You need to remove your mask a little. You can just pull down and put back. Just breathe a little. So a child may be in the classroom and may not want to miss out. So one of the things they can do is just move, breathe in and out, and put back the mask. But there are also the concrete benches we have under the tree that we label it as the demasking zones, and there are areas where students are asked so not to sit and space to sit, so it's a 6-foot distance, so the students can be asked or asked excuse to move to those areas to remove the mask and get back. That's it for questions.
No, miss. There is one other parent who was concerned about the 5:15 dismissal for these children in light of what is happening with COVID.
One of the things that we had indicated earlier about schooling and COVID-19 is that we're going to be doing classical timetables this year, and we're staggering as well. I will just read to you in terms of what we have now, but we're fine-tuning how to undo what we normally have. So for grade 7 students, we are looking for them to come in on the earlier shift for the afternoon. So we have one starting at 12 o'clock and the other starting at 12:30 in terms of classes. Students, however, should come in from 11:45 where we will have devotion and marking of names. So grade 7 will have, and we're looking at this, but we're fine tuning all of it, 12 to 1 for a double session, 1 to 2 for the other double session. Break for half an hour between 2 to 2:30, 2:30 to 3:30, and 3:30 to 4:30. So we're looking at to start grade 7 for them to finish off at 4:30. So it is right there now, 45 minutes before. So that staggered time. So the grade 7 will come in and start precisely at 12 o'clock their classes and finish at 4:30. So the grade 8 and 9, however, will start at 12:30 and finish at 5:15. So for grade 7, 4:30 should be better bet for them, and they should be off even before the grades 8 and 9 finish. So they need to move right off the streets, right on their transportation, go straight home immediately after school. So we're looking at 4:30 to dismiss for grade 7. A question? That's it, Ms. Beckford?
Mrs. Harris?
Yes, that's it.
No, ma'am. There are a few persons who are indicating that they have not received the masks. So they would have got packages and there are no masks in them.
All right. Could the persons who had indicated just share again the names? And if these are grade 7, for the returning students, the mask is in the package for grade 7 students. So all new grade 7. The returning students will have to purchase theirs if they needed the branded mask. So if it's a new grade 7 and you did not get the mask, please indicate. You can send it in the WhatsApp group or you can just share it in the chat and we will call you and inform you as to how you can pick up same. What I know from the admin staff is that all PEP students would have, once they pick up their package, they would have received a branded mask. All right, so if it is that you did not, let me apologize and we will get that to you. Just put in the chat or put it in the WhatsApp group so we can ensure that you get one. For the returning students, though, there isn't a package for the returning students. The students will have to purchase a mask for grades 8 onwards. All right?
Okay, one other question, Miss. What if the child doesn't have a device? And the second question, will the child be required to bring the device the 3 days for the face-to-face learning?
All right. If the child doesn't have a device, parents, what I want to know, we learned so much in the time that we were in the COVID-19 scenario. And I think the government also would have learned much as well. For the very fact that they're looking to fast track in terms of getting the laptop and the tablets to students and know that that was an hindrance. We also had the problem of some students who did not have the device. And we know that some persons cannot get the device because of affordability and so on. So that is something that we have thought of. That is the reason why we are ensuring that all parents would be getting or will be getting a curriculum guide for grade 7, and each grade will get a curriculum guide. So you would have heard and know that all materials that you want for anything, we can get it online. For one. Two, Miss Palmer, could you just repeat the next aspect that I need to answer?
If the child needs the device for the 3 face-to-face days.
Okay, that's something that we will inform the students. I would say for the very first day, the very first week, do not send the child with a device. And we will inform parents exactly if you need to carry for what class. And I would rather work on the side of caution, and particularly for grade 7 children, sometimes when they move out into the public space, they become prey to other adult persons. So for the very first week, for the second week, don't carry a device to school for face-to-face, but make sure that you're utilizing on the distant learning days, the additional 2 days, for the reason that the teacher, if it is that the teacher will be using the device in class, the teacher will advise the student or students or the class to bring it on what day. I suggest do not bring the device for the very first or second week, because with all of for first or second week there is going to be so much in just trying to settle in our students. We can teach the students how to log on to the Google platform, how to do a lot of things, how to research online. All of this we can do by demonstration, so we don't necessarily have to have the students taking the device. And when they reach home, they can practice. So just to be on the safe side, for the very first, second week, no, do not take the device. And then the students, as the students get acclimatized to the Bridgeport community and acclimatized to moving in and out of school and to home and know exactly how to manage self, then I would say after that, you bring the device on the advice of the teacher for in the particular classes.
Miss, on that same note, there is a parent who is concerned and is asking if there is any way that he or she could work around, not work around it so that the child does not have to take the device to school. So they're worried about the child actually taking the device to school.
In answering that, and to be fair to that particular parent, to be fair to all others, as I said, there are some persons who may not have the device. One of the things that we are so very cognizant of at Bridgeport High School is to ensure that every single child is equity for all. And one of the things that I know we will be doing and we have done during the COVID, earlier COVID pandemic period, is to ensure that we had printed materials. Or if we don't have printed materials for a particular class, we know how to cite where the child must go, or where in the curriculum, or what is it that the child must do on the days that the child is going to be out on the days for distant learning. So we're cognizant, and we know that there are some parents who cannot afford either a laptop, a iPad, or a tablet at this particular time with all of the things that is happening with COVID-19. So there are some students who possibly won't even have the device. There are some who have the device and is kind of afraid to be giving the child to be taken to school. So as I said, for the first 2 weeks, don't. And we will discuss further with our teachers, because maybe right now, even for the first month or so, we may not ask students to take the device, but the students will need it to use it at home while they're at home doing distant learning with their teachers. And we will also supplement utilizing the SMS platform as well as printed materials. That's it, Ms. Beckford.
One final thing, Polly is asking if we can stress the importance of the students coming on time so that they don't miss out.
Okay. Can we just put back Miss Cole on again, so she can just do the reminders again?
I look for her. You want Mr. Carter to say hi in the meantime?
Okay, in the meantime, okay, Mrs. Cole and then Miss parents. The Dean of Discipline is going to remind us of a couple of things, and then Mr. Carter, the Patient Association, is on the platform, so he will speak directly right after Mrs. Foley. So he's just going to bring greetings for like 2 minutes or so. Miss Foley.
All right. Good afternoon again, parents. Mrs. Harris would have mentioned the timing for the classes, and I know some of you are quite concerned with the 5:15 dismissal, and so Mrs. Harris would have made mention that we are trying to see how best we can dismiss at 4:30. It is therefore imperative,
For
parents,
the grade 7.
for the grade 7.
Okay. Yes, yes.
It is imperative, therefore, parents, that the students are there on time. We don't want to have a punctuality issue with our students, so we're asking that you get them there on time so that they're able to get as much as they can out of the day. So punctuality is key, is a very important issue to us here at Bridgeport. And so we're asking it to ensure that they get there on time for their shift. We don't want them coming there half an hour after, an hour after. Please, parents, ensure that the students get there on time so that we're able to facilitate the classes, and given the constraints that we have, that the students are not at a disadvantage because they're coming to school late. Right, so that's what we want to reiterate: the punctuality and the attendance of the students when they have to be there. Thank you, Mrs. Harris.
All right. Thanks much, Miss. Can we get Mr. Carter now at this time, and then I will wrap up in terms of closing remarks and speak to our next meeting that we have scheduled. Mr. Carter?
Mr. Carter.
Are you hearing me?
Yes, we are hearing you. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yes, we are hearing
Yes.
you, Mr. Carter. Go ahead.
Yes, I hear you.
We are getting an echo, but go ahead.
Okay, just wanted to thank you for inviting me to this important Zoom meeting. Not very much to say, just want to say welcome to the new parents of the PEP students. What I would ask is that parents, you have to take a more active part in your child's life, given what is happening now. So we're going to ask you to please take an active part in your child or children's life, and also wanted to be a part of the Parent Teachers Association. Parents who take part in the child much better in school. So please, Parent Teachers Association are going to need you, especially in these unprecedented times. Another thing I want you to understand, you're going to have to understand that these are unprecedented times. So reference that the school can go back to and say, this is how they did it then, so this is how we are going to do it. So a lot of what is happening are going to be trial and error. So mistakes are going to be made. So we want you all just to be patient. And as I said, participate. We have a wonderful principal in Mrs. Harris who is accommodative. You can call if you have suggestions, if there are concerns. I mean, Mrs. Harris and our supporting staff are very good at that. So please, parents, participate, get involved, and let this thing work. Thank you very much, and good afternoon once again.
All right, thanks so very much, Mr. Carter. That was our past president for the Past Students Association, sitting in for Mr. Jason Stewart, or past student president. Parents or past students worked very, very well with us. I know some of our parents are also past students, and we are looking to get you on board in the alumni. So please feel free. So you can WhatsApp us even in the group and let us know, and we can pass on the information to Mr. Carter or Mr. Stewart in terms of having you on board for the Past Students Association. Or you may know others or your relatives who have been past students at Bridgeport High School. In wrapping up,
Mrs. Harris?
Yes, Miss Bedford.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Palmer has just indicated, coming from YouTube, that some parents are indicated that they were not added. They were not added to the WhatsApp group and wanted to know the procedure, please.
Okay.
Mrs. Dawkins just type the number. So possibly, Miss, you could just read the number. Are you seeing it on your screen?
No, I'm not seeing it.
All right,
Yes,
let me
miss.
just quickly read it. So those persons who want to be added to the WhatsApp group, the number to call 876-495-5469. 876-495-5469. send a text to that number and they'll add you. Thank you.
Okay, just repeat it again, Mrs. Palmer. I just typed it, so I just want to ensure that I'm not missing any digit.
Okay, 1 second.
876.
I need to find it.
495 5469.
All right. I just put it on the agenda, so persons can pick it up for those who are viewing the shared screen. All right.
Okay.
Good. So for those persons who are not in the group, send the information. When you're sending the information, please to indicate your name, the name of your child, the child as well, and the contact. If you have your email address, please send as well, so we can also add you to the email group listing. All right, so parents on this.
1 minute, miss. Somebody just responded. I'm not sure, Mrs. To say that only admin can text to the number.
Yes, they can inbox the admin.
I'm not sure if they tried and didn't get through.
All right. Just to inform, yes, because what happened, we have over near 200 persons in the group, and it's hard to have it open, so it's only WhatsApp that can text or feed information, and it's for control. So persons need to ask questions. There are several persons, the dean, myself, vice principals, the guidance is also a part of the administrative membership of the group, and plus the admin staff. So if persons want a particular question to be answered, please inbox us and we will respond. All right. But we will add the persons to the group. So I'm going to be asking that we can open the WhatsApp group. Now I will ask Mrs. Tingle Dawkins to just open it so persons can send the information to be added and we to the group, and then we will close off after a while.
Okay.
All right. With that said, do we have other questions, Mrs. Palmer?
I'm not seeing anymore. Miss Beckford? Mr. Palmer?
I'm not seeing any more, miss.
Okay. All right. With that said, we just want to thank everyone for logging on, and I'm hoping that we're not too far over 1.5 hours. I want to wish you well in this time that we're moving in. I'm just asking everyone to keep safe, keep your family safe, wear your mask when you go out, keep your social distance as best as you can, 6 foot social distance, keep away. This is the time that we're going to be selfish with me, with individuals, so we can protect ourselves and we can protect our children and be alive. We know that it is appointed unto us once to die, yes, but let us not try to hurry that aspect. Let us wait until God is ready for us. And at Bridgeport High, our theme as we move and continue to move into our new school year is to cultivate a culture of excellence. And one of the things in terms of cultivating excellence is to know what to do when. Right? And we need to be wise persons, and this is what we're going to be doing. We're exercising being wise in what we do. We're exercising wisdom, because with all of what we're doing, we want our students to be safe, we want them to be healthy, and because they are our next generation to come. We will find out about the taller uniforms and availability. We will let you know. Also, I have indicated here that our next meeting is the 22nd of September. I'm hoping that we will not have any change. At that time, we will take our parents and our students through what we will call a virtual orientation. So when the students come in on the 5th of October, they will come in like straight to school. So we don't have to do too much in terms of orientation apart from really getting to know your teachers one-to-one. So we will be doing a virtual orientation on the 22nd. We will have the details of the timetable at that time. So you will get to know. So please do not miss that meeting. And we will ensure that all of the additional questions that you want or wish to hear will be forwarded and answered at this meeting. We just want to say thank you so very much for staying for the full course for the meeting, and we are hoping to see you again on the 22nd. We hope that the curve will be dipping down and we won't have additional spike in terms of the cases, because we are going to be responsible adults, responsible students, because we have to go on as a society and we need to live each day. And if we continue to have the rise in COVID cases, it's going to stop in terms of what we do, how we do things, or curtail what we do. So we want to ensure that the numbers trend downwards so we can move to normalcy as soon as possible. So thank you so very much, everyone. And just a reminder that on Thursday, exercise your constitutional and civil rights and vote. Thank you so very much. Have a great day.